Let's see. Building a DEX pretty much covers things worked out pretty well. I wrote this a while back, but never really got the time to do this video. So let's try to understand how do you build a decentralized exchange. Introduction. Web3 Bootcamp. Building a decentralized exchange. I'll eventually share these notes, so feel free to look at it. How can you buy or store your crypto? Have you ever thought of this? How do you buy crypto? The answer is you can buy it on Binance, you can buy it on Coinbase, you can buy it on CEXs, CEXs. There are a bunch of exchanges in India that let you buy it. You can track your balances here in a page like this that pretty much shows you, okay, your current balance is $37. You have this much ETH, this much INR. Some of you might have these accounts. That's one way. Another way is something called cold storage. How many of you have heard of this? Okay, these wallets that are usually present either as extensions or, something like what I have in my hand over here, which is a hardware wallet, which is very different from this. If you put your money in WazirX, then the founder of WazirX has something like this, which has, everyone's Ethereum, everyone's Solana, not exactly, but you get the idea. Theoretically, you can think of that. They have it in multiple wallets. There is some security. It's not like the CEO has the hardware wallet in his hand, but you get the idea. They own your crypto and they show you a number in your balance. And then whenever you withdraw, if you've ever tried withdrawing from Binance, is when you can send this Ethereum over to your hardware wallet. This hardware wallet is something you can buy, and this stores your private key. This is the reason crypto was introduced. Okay, you own your money. There is no bank that can tell you, bro, this is your number, and change it and block it. As long as you have this device, or if you use an extension, then as long as you have that extension, you own your money. No one can take that money away from you. For most coins, this is true. If you own Ethereum, if you own Solana, as long as you have it in a cold storage, you're fine. If you have it in an exchange, then it's a little dilly-dally. FTX went down. If an exchange goes down, then of course the money goes away. But if you don't make that stupid decision and own your crypto in something like this, then you're good to go. The problem that comes is building something like this. When you've built something like this, exchanging one quantity for another is easier to do. When you have something like this, cold storage, if I have Ethereum inside this and I now want to convert it to Solana, it's a little weird to send Ethereum to some person and get Solana in return. So how a decentralized exchange works is a little different from how a centralized exchange works. We'll understand both of these next. You either hold your money in an exchange, which is something like this, a centralized exchange, where you can track it like this, or you store it in something like this, where you can also track it, but in a wallet like this. It depends on where you want to store your crypto. If you store it in a centralized exchange, it's fairly easy to build. I have a video. This is around 1.5 hours, covers it in decent detail. How can you build a centralized exchange? People keep saying low latency trading systems. The reason is this centralized exchange needs to be very fast and support a lot of operations. Traders all around the world keep sending. There are two types of people who trade on a platform like this. If you go to Zerodha or Binance, there are two types of people that are trading here. One are traders, let me put them on the left, or what are called market makers. Traders, market makers. These are the companies that pay a lot of money to people in the US. If you've heard of Citadel, they probably don't do crypto market making. They do, standard stock Google market making, but you get the idea. These people put orders in Binance very aggressively. Every second they're sending in orders. Okay, bhai, I have 100 Google stocks to sell for rupees 2000. And then next second they'll say, no, sorry, rupees 19999. Then next second they say, no, 19998. And then suddenly they'll be like, no, 2002. They keep sending these orders based on some algorithms they're running. They find out that the current fair price of Google is X. And then they say, bhai, I will buy at slightly less than that, or I will sell at slightly more than that, because this I feel is the current fair price of Google stock. These are the traders that put these orders. Okay, bhai, if anyone wants Google stock, I am selling for rupees 2000. Tell to Binance. What is the other side? These are what's called retail or people picking up orders who just come to Binance and say, yeah, I want to buy Google. Here is rupees 2002. I don't care what the price is. They are not price sensitive. Their input to an order is just the amount they want to buy, not the specific price of it. कि नहीं भाई, this person is saying I will only sell 100 Google stocks for 2002, nothing less than that. This person is saying take 2002, give me the best orders that you have. The goal of Binance is to match your order and send you back 100 Google is in return, and take some money in the middle from both the sides. This party will pay some 0.001 Google stock to Binance, this party will pay some rupees 1 to Binance, and the swap will happen. That is what an exchange is supposed to do. It's supposed to swap assets between people. Usually there are two types of people. There are market makers and there is retail. But that's a high level of how a centralized exchange works. If you want more detail, this video pretty much covers it, also codes it. So that's how a CEX works, or a centralized exchange works. Question is, why do you need a DEX? And why can't a decentralized exchange do something similar? That's how Binance works. The thing about Binance is, whenever you sign up on Binance, right, you might have only bought crypto via INR. But for most people, what happens is they have a device like this, the thing that I showed you in the beginning. They have a ledger or they have a wallet like this from which they send their money to Binance. They say, bro, I'm giving you 1 ETH because I want to swap it for USDC. So there you go, 1 ETH, and then Binance holds it. Whatever is the cryptocurrency address of Binance eventually holds this 1 ETH that you sent to Binance. And it gives you the option that, you have 1 ETH now. You can send 1 ETH and get back whatever rupees, 10,000, and then send it to your bank. The biggest reason people use or retail uses an exchange or would want to use an exchange is because it lets you on ramp and off ramp from a bank. तुम INR में खरीद सकते हो, तुम बैंक से INR डालोगे Binance पे, वहाँ से खरीद लोगे Ethereum and vice versa. दुनिया में क्या होता है कि every asset has a price, right? Gold is currently, you Google gold price India, it tells you कि भाई the Google Chrome gold price India. If you go here, you see कि अच्छा gold का price is going up and down. Price of every asset in the world is described by something, right? If you go out and buy a house, how do you define the price of that house? It is purely dependent on कि if a society has 10 different houses, how many people are willing to sell and how many people are willing to buy. अगर एक सोसाइटी में 10 घर हैं और इन सबके ओनर इस साइड बैठे हैं और कुछ बायर इस साइड बैठे हैं, तो द ओनर विल बी लाइक, फर्स्ट ओनर विल बी लाइक ये घर मेरा है जी, आई विल सेल फॉर 40 lakhs. Buyer will be like, नहीं यार, I will only pay 38 lakhs. If there are a lot of buyers, then some other buyer will come and say, I will pay 39 lakhs. Other buyer will say, I will give 39.9 lakhs. And as soon as the owner sees this, he can increase the price to 42 lakhs. He can be like, नहीं नहीं यार, बहुत demand है, I will increase the price. And then the buyers will again be like, नहीं जी, I'll pay 41 lakhs. Someone else will like, I'll pay 42, 1.9 lakhs. And then this guy will increase again, कि नहीं भाई 45 lakhs. But if another owner comes to the market, another owner is like, वो मुझे भी sell करना है, then he'll be like, मैं 44 में बेच दूंगा, price थोड़ा कम हो गया. If another owner comes, then he'll be like, मैं 43 में बेच दूंगा, I need to sell it really quickly. So the price purely depends on how many people are selling, how many people are buying. If more people are buying, price goes up. If more people are selling, price goes down. This isn't empirically true. ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है कि यहाँ 10 लोग हैं, यहाँ 4 लोग हैं तो बढ़ेगा ही. Depends also. यहाँ के अंदर बहुत गुदे वाले हो सकते हैं, बोलेंगे नहीं भाई मैं तो 1 करोड़ से नीचे बेच नहीं रहा. दूसरा बोलेगा ठीक है भाई मैं भी नहीं बेच रहा 90 लाख से पीछे. It also depends on what, कौन ज़्यादा लाचार है in that moment. That decides the price of anything. Who is more लाचार or who is more desperate to sell, that causes the price to go up and down. Almost always between a buyer and a seller, there is a broker. If you are buying a house also, तो तुम broker के पास जाते हो कि नहीं जाते हो, कि उसे बोलते हो सर हमें घर लेना है मोहाली में या जहाँ भी, तो broker is the person who's talking to both the parties, right? That is what an exchange is in this specific scenario. Binance is a place जहाँ लोग दोनों साइड से आते हैं एंड बिड करते हैं कि भाई मैं इतने में खरीद लूँगा, इतने में बेच दूंगा. एंड बाइनेंस देखता है जैसे कोई डील हो रही होती है ना, तो वो डील कर देता है, बीच में थोड़े से पैसे ले लेता है. दैट इज हाउ यू डिसाइड द प्राइस ऑफ एनी एसेट. बाइनेंस को इस केस में क्या करना होता है, एक ऑर्डर बुक मेंटेन करनी होती है. ऑर्डर बुक मतलब इट नीड्स टू हैव अ लिस्ट ऑफ ऑर्डर्स कि भाई 3 people are willing to sell at this much, 4 people are willing to buy at this much. It maintains this order book, and this order book changes very quickly, especially in case of stocks. लोग जल्दी orders place करते हैं, which is fine. In a Web 2 world, you can do it. तुम जितना order place करना है करो. But when it comes to Web 3, when it comes to the blockchain, you cannot do this. You cannot have so many orders being placed. Blockchain पे पैसा बहुत लगता है हर order place करने का. Gas fees लगती है. So you cannot build an order book on an exchange. People have tried it. It's mostly failed. People still do it. But even if you do build an order book on chain, it won't be very liquid, which means, बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क होगा जो बंदा बेच रहा है $1 gas fee for every request. You cannot do that on a blockchain. So people thought of a few ingenious ideas to build something like this. कि भाई कैसे हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि जो price of an asset है, if there is an asset, for example Ethereum, इसका price कितना चल रहा है will purely be dependent on supply and demand. अगर ज़्यादा लोग बेच रहे होंगे तो price कम कर देना. If there are a lot of people buying, then increase the price. How can we build a system where if more people are selling, price goes down. If more people are buying, price goes up. And the answer is something called liquidity pools. तो अंत में 2 terms you have to learn or / understand are liquidity pools and automated market makers. यहाँ पे the people who were placing orders on the book were called market makers because they were making the market more liquid. They were putting orders in there. भाई अगर कोई नहीं बैठा होगा यहाँ, अगर कोई बता ही नहीं रहा है अपना ऑफर, if no one's putting out their offer, then there is no exchange, there is no market, and then no one will trade, which is why you need people like this to at least place something over here so that people can look कि अच्छा current price of Google is X. तो for that reason you need market makers. But in case of blockchains, you have the concept of automated market makers. कि भाई you don't need a बंदा. There's no person who will be sitting on either side and placing orders. It will be automated. Question is how? How do you automate market making? How do you automate the process of बहुत लोग खरीद रहे हैं तो ऊपर जा रहा है, बहुत लोग बेच रहे हैं तो नीचे जा रहा है? The answer is liquidity pools. Harkirat, what is a liquidity pool? Great question. What if मैं तुम्हें बोलूँ कि भाई यहाँ पे क्या था? कुछ owners थे ना? कुछ owners थे जिनके पास इतने घर थे. There are few people who had a bunch of houses. Few people who were willing to buy a bunch of houses. What if I tell you there is one mota guy who has 10 houses to sell and also has 20 CR of money in his bank account. All right. This person has 10 houses. This person has 20 CR. He was a market maker on an order book until now. He had placed orders कि भाई first house I will sell for 1 CR. Second house I will sell for 1.1 CR. Third house I will sell for 1.2 CR. And he also had orders on the other side. If someone is selling, I will buy one house for 80 lakhs, 70 lakhs because I do have 20 CR. I will buy one house for 65 lakhs, so on and so forth. So there is a single guy who can be a market maker. He can take both the sides of a trade. He can be like, भाई मैं बेचूंगा तो बहुत ज़्यादा में. I will sell for a very expensive price, buy for a very small price. This is a conventional market maker who has a lot of money on both the sides. What if this person could be like, यार ये रहे 10 घर, these are 10 houses, plus this is 20 CR. I am going to put it in a pool. I am going to put all my assets, both the sides, whatever is being sold in this market, whatever is being bought in this market, which could be INR, Google stock, could be USDT, ETH. He is going to put both of these in what's called a liquidity pool. And now, can you guess what the price of a single house is? What is in the liquidity pool? 20 CR and 10 houses. If someone wants to come and take one house, how much money will they have to pay? Let's say the answer is 20 CR divided by 10. कि भाई 20 घर हैं, 10 घर हैं, 20 CR पड़ा इधर. 20 CR divided by 10. If someone wants to buy a house, they can pay 2 CR, they can take one house. If they do that, what does the pool become after that request? If someone, initially the big owner, mota guy, put 10 houses and 20 CR in a pool, basically in a bank, let's say, and some person gave 2 CR and took a house. What did this become? It became 9 houses and 18 CR. Now, if someone comes and tries to buy, how much will a house be? Will it still be 2 CR? It probably will be, right? 18 divided by 2. What am I doing wrong? 18 divided by 9 is 18 divided by 9. Oh, constant product. My bad. No. That won't be the price of a house. The price of a house will be 9 into 20 CR, 10 houses. 10 into 20 equal to constant, which is going to be 200. There you go. Yeah, another buzzword to introduce: automated market makers, liquidity pools, constant product. The constant product market maker. This paper serves as a primer on how to do constant product market makers operate. The constant product formula is as follows: x into y equal to constant. The variable x represents the quantity of one asset in the liquidity pool. Y represents the quantity of another asset. The constant is the product of x and y. It only changes when the funds are provided and withdrawn. There you go. So the formula to follow is कि भाई जिस बंदे ने 10 घर और 20 CR डाले, 10 into 20, what is this multiplication initially? What is 10 into 20 CR? It is 200. If someone is taking one house from here, then the left side becomes 9. If someone takes one house, then 9 houses are left. The final product should still be 200. So what should the other side become? 9 into some y equal to 200 should hold, which means y should become 200 divided by 9, which is 22.222, which means how much does the person have to pay? If you want to take one house, you have to pay 2.22222 CR. The first person that buys pays 2.2222 CR, and the next pool becomes 9.22222. If another person comes and takes another house, then this becomes 8. And what should the right side become? 200 divided by 8, which is 25. So how much does this third person need to pay? He needs to pay 5 minus 2.22 equal to 2.888 or 2.788. So can you see, as more buying pressure is there, as more and more people are buying a house, the price of an asset is already going up. Do you understand this? Thoda at least. Okay, why one market maker came, or one solid mota person came and put 10 houses and 20 CR in a pool. And as people are taking houses, first guy paid 2.2 CR, second guy paid very big amount, 3 CR almost, 2.78 CR. Next guy will probably pay 5 CR, 8 CR, 20 CR. The price of one side will grow up very quickly as houses keep on going out. And then there will be a lot of incentive for you to put houses in, because you can take out a lot of money by putting houses. Do you understand automated market makers? Why is this good? This is good because you don't need market makers to keep placing orders again and again. You need one mota buy to create the liquidity pool. Then people can just trade within the pool and swap assets, swap one asset with another. One thing you'll notice is the more the assets that have been put, the more the liquidity. If there were 1,000 houses and 20,000 CR here, then how much would the first person have to pay? 20,000 divided by 1,000, into 1,000 divided by 99.99, 2.002. Then the first person would have had to pay only 2.0002 CR. If the liquidity pool was highly liquid, if it had a lot of houses and a lot of INR in there. Since we only have 10 houses and 20 CR in here, then the first house that was bought was for 2.222. But if the liquidity pool was very solid, had 1,000 houses and 20,000 CR, then the first person would have had to pay only 2.002 CR. So whenever you're building a DEX or a decentralized exchange, what matters is whether or not you have very solid liquidity providers, whether or not the people who are providing liquidity, the more liquidity you have, the better price your users will get. This is just an example, but in the end, in the real world, there are ETH USDC pools, jahan pe, there is whatever $500 million worth of ETH and maybe an equal amount of, let's say, USDC. So, even if a small person comes and buys one ETH, does not move the pool by a lot. That's a high level. The only question that you might have is why automated market makers, Harkirat? Because as you can see, you don't need to keep making the market. You need to keep maintaining the order book. You have a single pool. People can just come and place orders and take them. Cool. So if you understand this, then the question is, how do you code this, right? Which, isn't too difficult, right? You have to create an HTTP server that supports a few endpoints. Add liquidity, buy asset, which means, buy the house, sell asset, then quote. You just need a simple server which supports 4 operations. It lets liquidity providers add liquidity. It lets people buy assets. It lets people sell assets, and lets people get a quote on if I want to buy a house, how much will the price be? Let's codify this really quickly. It shouldn't take very long. yeah, at least, without the UI. With the UI might be a little too difficult, but we'll see. Let's call it, DEX. Yeah, maybe when you look at the code, it'll be a little bit easier to understand. These are like 5 standard things you have to understand in Web3. There's not a lot of products that, make money. So, this is like one of few, probably one that makes a lot of money. If you look at the biggest DEXs on Solana, Ethereum, they're probably the ones who are printing money. Of course, not everyone uses liquidity pools today. Algorithms have changed. On Solana, a lot of people do on-chain order books. So it depends. It's not like this is the only algorithm to do swaps, but this is a pretty, at least OG popular one in Web3. Okay, source npx tsc dash init ts con. I'm going to simply use like Express, like, feel free to code this in any language. Rust is a popular one if you're creating an exchange. Doesn't matter, this is a DEX, so low latency isn't required here. This is a decentralized exchange. The whole point is, the blockchain is really slow, which is why you had to create liquidity pools. So, you're not worried about latency here. Import Express from Express. Const express equal to app.get. What am I doing? App equal to express. Sorry, little sleepy, guys. What were the 4 endpoints that we had? App.post add liquidity. Buy asset, sell asset, get a quote. All right. So add liquidity would do what? It would allow people to buy an asset, but it needs to be in a certain proportion. So, if whenever you're using a constant product market maker, A into B equal to K. So if anyone wants to come into the pool and, add liquidity, they need to, the proportion in which they're adding A and B need to be specified. Maybe we can ignore add liquidity for some time here. Let me comment this out. Const ETH balance equal to 200. Const USDC balance equal to, how much is ETH right now? Like $3,500. So it'll be does this matter? It probably doesn't matter. Does not matter. But yeah, okay. This is the initial ETH and USDC balance. Let's say you are a very rich person who has 200 ETH also, who has USDC also, who believes in Ethereum and feels that Ethereum ka price won't go up or down by a lot in the next few years. I repeat, if you are a person who has a lot of Ethereum and USDC, let's say you have 2000 Ethereum and let's say you have 70,000 USDC, and you strongly feel that the price of Ethereum will not change over the next few years, is when you should do what I'm doing. If you feel Ethereum will go up by a lot and you follow this strategy, you will receive something called impermanent loss if Ethereum does not come down. So providing liquidity in a DEX or creating your own DEX with, initial liquidity pool, then only makes sense if you feel an asset will remain the same, which is why the most popular pools are usually USDC, USDT pools, because the price of USDC and USDT doesn't change. It remains very close to $1. If you, use a very highly volatile asset, you can lose money being a liquidity provider. A question you might ask is, why should I even do this? Why do I put my USDC and Ethereum for other people to trade on? The answer is you make fees. Anytime a swap happens, whoever has provided liquidity get some fees from, you know, the swap, which is why you want to do it. But you only want to do it if you have conviction that the price of this won't change a lot over the next, let's say, 1 year. Then you create a pool for it. All right. Otherwise, you get something called impermanent loss. Feel free to Google. You can also, you know, run some on paper math to understand this. Cool. Buy asset. What does this need to do? Const product equal to ETH balance into USDC balance. This probably needs to be let const let's say the input that the user gives you is I want to buy, so I want to buy Ethereum quantity equal to rec.body.quantity, and then you need to tell the user कि भाई this is the amount that you paid when this swap happened. So const updated ETH quantity equal to ETH underscore balance minus quantity. Const ETH balance into USDC balance divided by updated ETH quantity equal to const updated USDC balance, const paid amount equal to updated USDC balance minus what? The original USDC balance. Rest.json paid amount, or, you know, message you paid amount USDC for quantity ETH. All right. And you also have to update ETH balance equal to updated ETH quantity and USDC balance equal to updated USDC balance. There you go. नहीं समझ आता मैं भी समझा दूंगा. If you did not understand this part, it's fine. It's easy to understand eventually. Let me remove this. That's for buying an asset. Selling an asset should be fairly straightforward, like very similar. Okay, you don't need this. Quantity equal to this thing, updated USDC balance equal to USDC underscore balance minus quantity. Updated ETH balance quantity doesn't matter, equal to ETH balance divided by updated USDC balance. Paid amount equal to updated ETH quantity minus ETH quantity, and then just update them, and then you paid this much ETH for itna sol. No, sorry, USDC. You paid the ETH for, or, you know, you got this much USDC for itna ETH. All right, there you go. And lastly, quote. There needs to be both the sides of quote. We can get to quote eventually. Let's just buy. Let's open Postman. Let's try to hit this. Let's start the server. TSC. If I, how do I close this? Oh, there you go. Localhost 3000 / let's say I buy Ethereum quantity. If I buy 1 Ethereum for the very first time, it says you paid $3,500 for Ethereum. That sounds good. That's what the price of Ethereum currently is. If I open CoinMarketCap, what is the current price of Ethereum? It's 35.11. How much did I buy it for? 35.17. But let's say now I become very aggressive. I'm like, I'm going to buy it again. The price went up by a bit. Did you need people to come in on both the sides and say, okay, I will increase the price because demand is going up? No. the automated market maker, the pool, imbalanced, and that is why the price, as I keep buying Ethereum, the price of 1 ETH is going up automatically. Harkirat, then this will keep going up. When will it come down? When RBTOs will come into the picture. When people will realize कि यार इतना महंगा कैसे हो गया यहाँ पे? It is so expensive here. People will come and sell Ethereum here and buy it from, wherever it is for $3,500. And that's how the pool remains balanced. When retail comes, retail just comes and, sweeps it off. Buying it, and, they don't care what the price is a lot of times. But as the demand is increasing, if I buy 10 Ethereum together, you can see almost I had to pay $4,000 per ETH. But if I sell them, what will happen? If I sell 10 or, sell my quantity is going to be how much, let's say I'm willing to pay $4,000. First you got 4,000 for 0.92 ETH. One second. Sorry, that's probably some bug. Sell asset. You got 4,000 USDC. Oh, I'm taking the wrong thing. Am I not? Yeah. So it's fine. Yeah, it's weird. Let me fix this really quickly. It doesn't really matter. When a person will come, he'll sell 1 ETH. Sorry, my bad, guys. Updated ETH quantity is this. Updated USDC balance is this. Gotten USDC is updated USDC balance minus USDC balance, and then this is this. You got this much USDC for quantity ETH. All right, let's restart. All right, if I go to Postman now, if I say I want to sell 1 ETH, it says you got $3,500 for 1 ETH. Cool. Sell it again. It says, bro, you got 35.5. This amount should go down. Yeah, some bug again. Updated ETH quantity to ETH balance quantity ETH. Oh, plus quantity. My bad. He's selling ETH. All right. Try that one more time. Yep. Oh, negative. Even better. Gotten USDC equal to updated USDC balance is in the pool, which means you have to return updated USDC balance minus this thing. The pool will have more USDC now that you're selling ETH. You're selling ETH. No, pool will have more ETH. Pool will have more ETH, which means pool will have less USDC. USDC balance minus this thing. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Maybe you guys already saw this. I don't know. But let's try that one more time. You got 34.82 for 1 ETH the first time I sold. Second time I sold, went down a lit. Third time I sold, went down more. As I sell more, the amount of USDC I get for it keeps on going down. But if someone else buys more, then if I buy 1 ETH, then, or someone else buys, price keeps on going up. So that's how you can do price discovery automatically, and hence the word automated market makers. Cool. That's how you build a DEX. I mean, I guess a very basic version of a DEX in Node.js. But there are like a few things you can do if you really want to look at it. A bunch of this is a Solana DEX that's open source Drift protocol. This is a code I was trying to understand a while back. You can read through this GitHub. So what does a DEX finally look like? It looks something like, this is not just a DEX, this is a perp, which if you don't know what a perp is, it's fine. But what we've written right now, if you write in a smart contract, is when you can build an app like this that lets people trade. There's a bunch of front end here, but other than the front end, the smart contract has enough knowledge to let you create something like this. This is not just, as you can see, there's an order book here as well. So even though this is a decentralized exchange, it still uses an order book. If you look at their architecture, they use an order book. They use a liquidity pool. They use, I think, one more thing to allow people swap. Whatever has the best price, they swap using it. So you can still use DEXs in a chain like Solana. You probably cannot do it on Ethereum because Ethereum is very expensive. But this is a repository to look at if you want to read through it. I'm not pushing my code. I think it's fairly easy to write yourself. How is the price coming real time and being increased? So if we look at the code, what does it say? It says someone is buying an asset. Someone wants to buy, let's say, 2 Ethereum. So updated ETH quantity, this person will take 2 Ethereum from this liquidity pool. So this 200 will become what? This will become 198. This person is taking 2 Ethereum. Which means, what should the updated USDC balance mean? What was the algorithm? Okay, bhai, if initially the constant product is this, it needs to remain this. Which means 198 into X should be equal to this. Which means X should be this divided by 198. Which, that is exactly what I do here. Okay, by updated USDC balance. If this person is taking 2 ETH, they need to update the USDC balance in the pool to be something new, which, we calculate by this calculation or algorithm, constant product, right? If ETH quantity went down, became 198, then USDC balance should go up, which will, if I have to put a number on this, it becomes this. So the net USDC in the pool needs to be this much, which means how much does this person need to pay? 7070.707071. This much the user needs to pay for 2 Ethereum, which means how much does he need to pay for 1 Ethereum divided by 2? Or you can just tell them that you paid 7070 USDC for 2 Ethereum, and you update the pool so that this becomes 198 and this becomes this thing right here. So that's how the algorithm is done, in case you do not understand it. But yeah, this is the thing in Web 2. As in, why do you need this? You can create an order book. You don't need this. You need this in a Web 3 world where users are not allowed to make a lot of transactions, or transactions are really expensive, and you want to do something like this.